Just like that, we're back again. Time's really flying. Like we're into September. Wow. What made it go by so fast? I wonder. And back to school. How's that going to look like for a lot of people this week? Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. As always, I'm your host, David Burrows, and I thank you for joining me from wherever you're joining me from. There's been a lot going on. We're going to talk about that. And just one guest today, trying to keep it simple. It is Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. We'll talk about how that went down this year as well. But happy Monday. And I'd like to check in and see who is out there today. Corinder. Yeah, boom. Let's get rolling. All the way from United Kingdom joining us. Didn't see you on Broadcasting Your Community. No, that's because I was busy elsewhere today. So Stephen Healy filled in to me. And it is a holiday here in Canada, Labor Day. So happy Labor Day once again, an important day that is celebrated here. And like I said, we will talk about that. But I hope you've been getting out and enjoying yourselves as much as you can. And I just like to remind everybody, as I do every week, but there's a reason why I keep saying it, get your information from the accurate sources. LambtonPublicHealth.ca is a great place to get your information for what's happening in the Lambton County area as far as COVID and health regulations, etc. And also, the city of Sarnia has done a great job at creating a special page on their website, sarnia.ca, for COVID-19, things that are closed, things that are open, do's and don'ts. Of course, it is mandatory, mandatory to wear a mask inside public places. And if you don't know what that means exactly or how it works, like when you walk into a restaurant and then take your mask off, all that stuff, it's all available on the City of Sarnia website at sarnia.ca. So, oh, cool. How's Sarnia hockey? How's Sarnia hockey? Well, there isn't any. And but interesting question, Corinder. As I did have a meeting with the Sarnia Sting the other day, and the OHL, of course, a little while back said that they're looking to start things December 1st. Now, there hasn't been any official word from the Ontario or federal government, I should say, on that officially yet, but they're hoping that that's the direction that gets taken. So shooting for December 1st, and then as things get closer and we learn more, the Sarnia Sting, along with myself and others, will be able to announce what is going to be happening with the Sarnia Sting this year and any other OHL team for that matter. It could look a little different depending on locations, right? So, but, and whether fans will be in there or it'll be virtual, that's hard to say. So at this point, Corinder, I appreciate the question, but December 1st is the date that we're hoping for. So what happened over the weekend? Well, the Western Ontario Outlaws, I love getting out there with the lawn tractor racing. Was an exciting day. The track was really cooperative and some great, it was a fast day. We were done a little bit earlier, and that's because the races were going so fast. And good turnout there as per usual, all social distancing, of course. If you want to make it out there, it's out in Petrolia on 4120 Oil Heritage Road, just south of the lights there on Oil Heritage Road. I always get my compass directions right. Next to the old landfill site, and $10 per carload. So get as many as you can in the car safely, of course, wearing your seatbelts, and all social distance rules apply. But it's been a good turnout there, and Mother Nature, they hadn't had to cancel one for any rain this year yet so far. So that's a good thing, right? And if you can't make it there, of course, you can watch the live stream on the Video Show Network. I'm broadcasting that there every other Sunday. We had a Saturday in there. Of course, last week, Jason and I did the father and son thing. He's claiming a win, but everybody else's car broke down. So we're calling it the last man standing race. So I guess on paper he won, but that's all we're leaving it at for now. There will be a rematch. Gary and Colin Vandenhoeven from Preferred Towing and Stars of Heavy Rescue 401 were there to join us as well, and we had a lot of fun with that. So the next date is Sunday, September the 20th, out in Petrolia, and races begin at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And as I mentioned earlier, it will be $10 per carload. All right, well, as I said, happy Labor Day, Canada. And I think I said happy Canada Day to somebody earlier, but it's a happy Canada Labor Day. There you go. And the Sarnia District Labor Council, once again, putting on an annual event, of course, had to look a little bit different because of COVID-19. Wow, that COVID-19 has really changed a lot of things in our lives, hasn't it? But here we are. Here was some of the turnout. So what happened was we were, the Video Show Network side of what I do was hired to go out there and do this broadcast for this morning. And obviously we couldn't announce where it was happening to avoid crowds showing up. but it happened at Mike Weir Park, Brights Grove Way, earlier this morning, 10 o'clock this morning, actually. And you can see classic cars were involved. So local groups and individuals who had their classic cars brought out their cars for a drive-by virtual parade at Mike Weir Park. And not all could be there, of course, because there were limited numbers. So the numbers were limited to some of the folks representing their unions. You see there we have the International Union of Operating Engineers, and there's Jason McMichael from he's president of the Sarnia District Labor Council, along also representative for LaUna, Local 1089. It's a fantastic car here. This red one that Kip McMillan is driving, that's a 1928 Model Ford. Yeah. The one down in the bottom left, that's kind of one I want. I like the Corvette. I don't know. They're all pretty cool. Boilermakers are there, carpenters, teachers union was there, nurses, United Steelworkers. So it's just great to see everybody coming together. Unfortunately, couldn't be the way we wanted it to, but better than nothing at all. It was very, very important because it was the 118th celebration. 118 years Sarnia has been celebrating. And Jason McMichael joined me for an interview at the end of the virtual parade. And it was like, it was very important to them to make sure that something happened. Going way back, think about that, 118 years, even during world wars and other obstacles in life in Canada and the province of Ontario along the way did not stop from having a celebration. So they weren't going to let COVID-19 get in the way of it as well. And that's why the special presentation today of the virtual, I guess it's called the virtual parade, I guess, right? So congratulations to Sarnia District Labor Council for pulling that off, putting it together. And there'll be a link after the show here today. It's already there on Facebook, YouTube, Sarnia District Labor Council, the Video Show Network. You'll be able to find a replay of the broadcast, a very good broadcast. So enjoyed getting out there. And Mother Nature, thank you very much, because of course, I was preparing for this morning, or last night, I should say, getting some things ready. And then as I put my head down in the middle of the night, I heard loud, boisterous noises. And I was thinking, this is not going to go well for an outdoor virtual broadcast. But Mother Nature showed up just in time. And live right now, if you're watching live, it's a beautiful day here in Sarnia-Lambton. So enjoy that. I want to say a special thank you and shout out also to Christine Fiji of ActivEars from ActivEars Hearing Center here in Sarnia. She's been a great supporter of the show for many years, and she asked if I would give a special shout out from her to all the labor workers, all the frontline workers, the community. For Christine really loves and adores this community, and she's a great contributor in many ways to our community here in Sarnia-Lambton, a very kind and generous person, and she just wanted to see if I would be happy to pass on her message. So Christine, I'm passing on your message to the community. So from ActivEars and Christine Fiji, she says, happy Labor Day to everyone out there. And Christine, thank you for all of your support and your continued support here on the show as well. All right, other great community supporters that are giving back. Ozwelds Diner, located out on Plank Road here in Sarnia, another supporter of the show here. And motorcycle enthusiasts, I like to say, September the 12th. I'm sorry, I'm bummed I'm going to not be around. I'm going to miss this one, being a rider myself. But they normally would have their annual show and shine. But this year, obviously, there's that COVID thing again. It's going to be a show and ride. And this is supporting the Sarnia Special Olympics here. Registration from 11 to 12:30. They're going to be doing a 110-kilometer ride this year. And if you want to find out more, go to Ozwelds Diner. They were here last week on the show talking about the ride, and just a little plug for them because they're family owned and individuals here, local, support local. Ozwelds Diner is part of Skip the Dishes. They've also got something called Macs and Cheeses. Oh my goodness, amazing grilled cheeses and macaroni, gourmet macaroni, if you will. You can find them on Facebook. And they've started something else new from their kitchen called Sliders. That's Sliders with a Z. Yes, little hamburger sliders. I'm really hungry now. You can get a hold of them on Skip the Dishes. And again, family owned, locally owned, Ozwelds Diner here in Sarnia. And their 4th annual motorcycle show and ride this year. Again, go to Ozwelds Diner on Facebook to get out more information about that. And if you're a rider, remember to be safe out there. And for those of you who are not riders, keep an eye out for the two-wheelers out there, all right? We want to get everybody home safe and sound. Yeah. All right. Well, we got to keep celebrating, and everybody's turning into this virtual world. And if you're a Jimmy Buffett fan, or better yet, calling all parrot heads, you're going to want to learn more about It's 5 o'clock somewhere that is supporting the Alzheimer Society of Sarnia-Lambton. And my friend, Marcy-Smids, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Good to have you back here again.
Well, it's good to be back. It's always fun to be with you.
Oh, gee, thanks. It depends who you ask.
You can pay me later.
All right. I got my wallet around here somewhere.
There you go.
Get the wallet out, though, I guess is what we're going to ask people to do. We got to support the Alzheimer Society of Sarnia-Lambton. And it's 5 o'clock somewhere. This was new? This was new last year?
Last year was our first year of doing this event. And last year, obviously, it wasn't a virtual event. And this year we've had to make some tweaks here and there, but we think that we're bringing people a quality event. For $75, they get a dinner, choice of 4 entrees, a dessert, a bottle of Peely Island wine. They get a lovely bag donated by the Mir Group, and they get the live stream of the Spirit of the Keys, and you're involved with that because you're doing the production of it for us.
Yeah, well, it's exciting, to be able to adapt to these things and to be able to help with that, because what would we do if this had all happened back in the 70s or the 80s when we didn't have FaceTime and YouTube and all that other stuff? It's obviously been a challenge. I mean, not just for everybody, but the Alzheimer Society provides a lot of important services to not just those suffering from it, but to the caregivers of those suffering from Alzheimer's. Talk a little bit about the services that Alzheimer Society Sarnia-Lambton provides.
Well, we have support groups and we're one of the only agencies that support our clients throughout their journey. So right. We support both the person, as you said, that is living with dementia, as well as the people around them and their families, because sometimes the disease is harder on the care partners than it is on the person that actually has the diagnosis. So it's a long journey, and we have support groups. We have Minds in Motion. We have mindful music. We are in the process. We have a day program. It was running once a week, but now we've renovated our building. So we're hoping once we're allowed to operate the day program again, that we'll be up and running with that. So we offer many kinds of programs. We offer one-on-one counseling. So there's a lot that we do for our clients.
Yeah, and it's what's the challenge been like? I mean, some of the programs obviously couldn't work, but what was it like for the clients as far as being able to still access the services that is provided by Alzheimer's Society?
Surprisingly enough, it took a little bit and a little convincing, but we've been able to offer all of our services this whole time via Zoom. They had to learn how to connect and whatnot, but we've been offering everything, even the exercise, the Minds in Motion. Well, our staff has really stepped up to the plate to try to offer all of our services. And for our clients, I mean, they're the ones that have been most affected by COVID. They either haven't been able to see their loved one who is in long-term care for the longest time, or they're shut in with somebody and their routines have been disrupted and they haven't been able to go out. And it's hard for somebody that's having cognitive issues to understand why they can't go out, why can't they do what they normally do day in and day out. So it's presented a lot of difficulty and just the fear of contracting it, because obviously older adults have comorbidities, and the chances of not having a great outcome if you do get it is greater. So there's been a lot of anxiety in our world, and so therefore our contact with our clients has had to increase. There's just more need right now to be reassuring and to check in more frequently. So our frontline workers, they're on the phone 8 hours a day, every day.
Yeah, let's talk about the frontline workers that are supporting as well, and even some volunteers that are offering their support. Or are there still volunteers? Did that have to change a little bit too? Did you lose volunteers over any of this?
We haven't we have respite workers, but they're not volunteers. So we don't run with a lot of volunteers. We did have a companion program at one time.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if we're going to start that up again. And that's a visiting, but that's the one thing we didn't do because we didn't want to send volunteers in to visit with people with everything that's going on. So, but other than that, everything has been up and running. And as you know, this whole pandemic has been very tough on social service agencies that rely on fund development for, a good chunk of their money. We're 60% funded by the LIN, but the other 40% has to come from our own efforts. So, we did run with our virtual walk. We generated about 20 grand, but we generated 40 grand the year before. We had to cancel our golf tournament. So we're putting a lot of eggs in our "it's 5 o'clock somewhere" basket. So far the response has been really good. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You can pick up your meals starting at 5 o'clock, and the pickup times are in 15-minute increments. So it's going all the way till 7. There is some room. The Grind is catering it for us. So they have a patio. There's room for about 75 people, socially distanced, of course, on the patio. So, you can eat there, you can take your meals and go to a park, or you can take it home. And there's a lot of people that are having like little COVID bubble 10 backyard bashes, to cap off the summer. And they're going to put like a screen up and stream the concert. So I think it's going to be a fun event. We tried to think of everything that we could do to enhance it, since it's not an actual event. And the Meir Group, Brian Meir Real Estate, they provided bags. So everybody's getting a nice beach bag. They're going to get a towel, their sunglasses, and they're going to get a wonderful meal with dessert and a bottle of wine per person.
Yeah, fantastic. So, a get together with your bubble that you can have, and maybe a big screen in the living room or even outside if the weather permits, and celebrate Jimmy Buffett style music and supporting Alzheimer Society here in Sarnia-Lambton. Moving forward from all of this, and I know there's no crystal ball, but are you, like probably a lot of other organizations, are you preparing yourself for continued virtual events or other ways? Are you finding other creative ways after 5 o'clock somewhere to continue? Because you got to keep the money coming in somehow. Yeah,
we do. You're right. We have our Anything for Alls that runs like the beauty of that event is that businesses can pick their own time. So it starts in September and it runs all the way to November. So we encourage businesses to do whatever they can do. So, for example, some restaurants created a special burger last year, so we get proceeds from the burger. Some other places did a specialty drink, so we got the proceeds from the drink. Then bigger stores like Canadian Tire and Giant Tiger and all of the independent grocers participated at the point of sale for the toonie, so we're still going to be doing that. ASO, which is Alzheimer's Ontario, have come up with another sort of event, and it's virtual too. It's called Social with a Purpose. So people can have like online yoga parties and collect donations. So we're looking at things like that. We have an awesome fund development committee, and we'll be meeting the last week of September to look at going forward what we're going to do with our events. But hopefully a year from now, we may be in a position to go back to having some semblance of order and run some of our events. But we are, you're right, preparing to do things differently for the near future.
Yeah. And even if, let's say we could all go back tomorrow to that normal that we once knew, do you think that maybe there's still opportunity to go, we can still do a lot of this stuff virtually anyway, and maybe save some cost? Because even though there's nonprofit and charities, there's still a cost to putting these events on. But do you maybe have, what am I trying to say? Can you have some of the same success doing some virtual stuff, or do you need it to all go back to the way it was before?
I think, there's a lot of people that can't get out to those kinds of events, like how It's 5 o'clock somewhere was last year. So, maybe we offer that to the people that are comfortable with that. Maybe some people don't like those kinds of events. So we could offer the takeout and the live stream to those people that, so that just opens up another market for us, right?
Yeah.
So you're right. We're going to be looking at a lot of things like that, and things we can do where we don't have to gather big groups together. Like, how do we have a golf tournament and make the same kind of money, but not have to have the big banquet? Because most of the money generated in something like a golf tournament is associated with the banquet part. That's when you do the raffles. That's when you do, all the kind of
silent auctions. And
we kind of got away from the silent auction because a lot of times, it's people buying things that they don't really want, and we all have too much stuff anyway. So we did the raffle instead. So everybody had an opportunity to buy 2 tickets, and it's only somebody in that room that was going to win. And we partnered with CAA. Janet Holmes and her folks down there are great, and they helped us out with getting a trip together. So we're looking at things like that instead. So how do you do a golf tournament, or how do you do the gala and keep people safe and still make it a really positive experience for everybody?
Yeah. Well, you got to just keep being creative, right? And then, of course, on top of that, I know you've got a ton of sponsors that and I say it to you, and I've talked about it, and many others have talked about it. Sarnia-Lambton really knows how to come together and support local organizations like yourself. You got to be truly grateful for the support of the local businesses as well that have stepped up to give your support for something like this.
We were really lucky because a lot of events lost sponsorship, but we had Steves and Rosema as our signature sponsor. Then we had Remedy RX come in. We had Bayview Chrysler Dodge stay on. We had Birch Hill Financial. We have Leeway. We have Exit. We have H. Moore Windows and Doors, CF Industries, Carpenters Union, Mirror Group. We have a ton of them, and they all stayed on, which is great. And we were planning to do something different with Bayview, and I didn't even contact Stephen Orr and the folks down there. And I get a text from Steve, and he says, "I just wanted you to know, like, this is in the beginning of the pandemic. I just wanted you to know that whatever I committed to, it's 5 o'clock somewhere in your golf tournament, I'm still in." So that's the kind of community we have. And I just wanted to touch base. You mentioned Christine Fiji at the beginning of ActivEars. Yeah. She is just the most generous, kind-hearted person on the planet.
I know.
She gave us golf balls last year. Sometimes she just shows up at events and just with a check. She's just an awesome individual, and I think we are very fortunate to live in a community that has that kind of support, because not all communities do.
Yeah, and you're right. She just shows up. Just a quick story. When Jennifer and I got married, we were having a buck and doe, and she heard that we were having a candy bar or something, and she just showed up in our driveway one day, sitting out there waiting for us to come home, and walked up and said, "Here's a whole bunch of candy and peanuts and stuff," and said, enjoy your day. Like, so yeah, she just, we have a lot of Christine Fijis in our community. And,
we do.
And we're so fortunate for that, really, because otherwise, where might we be, right?
Yeah, I don't know. As somebody that's been in fund development for many years, you forge those relationships, and you hope that that they've got value for their dollar. I mean, even businesses, they're doing it for a reason, to show that they're good corporate partners to the nonprofit community. But you hope that you can give them value and that they'll keep coming back. And so far, it's been really good. Like, most of the people that I have gone to for sponsorship, even back in the days when I first started out, they're all still contributing, and they're all still on board, and they're all still in business.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about being in the fund development category for yourself. Do you network with other people in the same position as you? Like, it seems like we talk about how great a support the community of Sarnia is, but it seems like a lot of other organizations like to help each other out as well.
Yeah, there is a group that meets once a month. I mean, we haven't for a while, but because of COVID, but there is an association of fund development people that we meet, and we bounce ideas off each other, and try not to schedule things that interfere with everybody else's, because you have to try to support other causes. So you look at your calendar and look at their calendar and try not to step on any toes. So yeah, we do kind of all work together, and they get the word out about our events, and we get the word out about their events. You know, we email each other and send it out to all your colleagues. So, you know, the community is very friendly, and we all work together very well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I know you've been working hard there as well. We've had a lot of chatter and phone calls between you and I, so I appreciate your efforts in there as well. And a lot of people like myself are very grateful for what you and your team do there at the Alzheimer Society of Sarnia-Lambton. Thanks for taking time. Happy Labor Day, by the way. Is there anything you want to add before I let you go?
No, I think we touched on all the sponsors, but happy Labor Day to everybody. I was going to wear overalls to, you know, be in the working spirit.
I was just going to wear a t-shirt today, so.
But I didn't have time and I forgot. So anyway, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for helping us with the production of the live stream. I think it's going to be a fun event. There's still time to get tickets. You need to go to eventbrite.com. And then in the search bar, type in "it's 5" with the number 5 o'clock somewhere, and it'll pop up and get your tickets.
We'll be sharing all those links so people can get those tickets. And it does sound like it's going to be a lot of fun. And the band is going to be awesome. And the wine is going to be awesome. The food is going to be fabulous. And what more reason do you need? 5 o'clock anywhere, right?
What better way to cap off the summer?
You got it. Marie, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again in person when we can.
Thank you, David.
There you go, Marie Marcy-Smids from the Alzheimer Society of Sarnia-Lambton. Oh, let's keep that back up there. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, anywhere you like. This time, September the 12th, calling all Parrot heads. Dinner by Grind, as we mentioned, wines by Peely Island. There's going to be lots of stuff going on, including the music, all virtually. And as Marie did mention, there's a bit of a patio available. So you want to check out all after the show here. We'll have all the links posted here on our Facebook page. So get out there, get those tickets, and support the Alzheimer Society of Sarnia-Lambton. Thanks, Marie. All right. Well, just before we go, I'm self-producing again. I've been involved with St. Clair Child and Youth Services and other organizations, including the Canadian Mental Health Canadian Mental Health Association, and recently the last episode of the Mental Health Show, which can be found on their Facebook pages, we talked about World Suicide Prevention Day coming up on September the 10th, and also talked about many of the services that are available for depression, anxiety, suicide prevention. It's all available, and I encourage you to, of course, World Suicide Prevention Day, it's not just a day. We need to talk about it all the time. And I can honestly say, even like I am right now, when I was doing the interviews, I had a hard time even saying the word. It feels uncomfortable. And I guess it shouldn't be. It's something that is happening in our communities, not just here, but this is where we start for sure. And know that these services are available from Canadian Mental Health Association, St. Clair Child and Youth Services, Chatham-Kent Children's Services. There are distress lines that you can call, phone numbers. And again, we'll post all this after the show. But I would encourage you to go to St. Clair Child and Youth Services or Canadian Mental Health Association Facebook page. And those shows are all there. You can also go on to YouTube and find the Mental Health Show. And there are 10 episodes currently talking about many different mental health issues. There are a lot of subcategories that go into that. But we wanted to remind you about World Suicide Prevention Day, again, coming up on September the 10th. All right, well, just before we go, as I like to say, our motorcycle sponsor is Ozwelds Diner, and we appreciate them and all their support. Watch for the motorcycles, drive aware and ride aware. And of course, a collective group of people who support the show here to be able to allow me to bring you all this content about our community. And if you're in the community and you have something positive that you'd like to share, maybe you have a positive story of something you did or someone you know, or you have a special event, only positive here. We don't do the negative very well around here. So keep it positive. Would love to hear from you. Facebook me. You can send me an email to info@tvsn.ca and tell me your story. You can go to the website. I'll give some shameless plug, right? I'm allowed to do that. It's my show. Here we go. You can go to the show live.live. And there's all kinds of other videos and things happening in our community there as well. And you can also find me on YouTube. Subscribe to youtube.com/David Burrows. I do appreciate all of you very much. It means a lot to me to be able to bring this broadcast to you here every week. But that's all the time I got for you this week. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.